You're looking at live pictures in El Paso, Texas, and you're looking at the kindness of strangers. Tony Basco is not alone. That's Tony right there, hugging people he didn't know until today. He's saying goodbye right now to his wife, the love of his life, his everything. And our Gary Tuckman reported last night he has no other family and invited anyone to join him this weekend for his wife's funeral services. His wife, her name is Marjorie Ricard. She was one of 22 people killed in the Walmart shooting in El Paso. A funeral had to be planned. Her husband couldn't bear to do it alone. They didn't expect hardly anyone to show up, so he invited the world, and the funeral home put it on their website, and other people started tweeting about it. And tonight, the world is answering. Gary Tuckman is there, joins us right now. Gary, to see these images of a man who, you know, before all this horror began, before this tragedy, knew nobody other than the woman he loved and had been with, and now to see him surrounded by the love of strangers who are now friends in ways is extraordinary.
Well, Anderson, if you've ever started to lose your faith in humanity, this will bring it back. We are standing outside this large funeral home in El Paso. You saw the inside of this building where there are 500 people inside right now. This is the line, the waiting line, people trying to get in. These are members of motorcycle clubs holding American flags. None of these people know Tony Basco personally. But in this line right now that you're looking at, I have counted over 400 people waiting to try to get in. They're not going to be able to get in because it is absolutely full inside. And it's just amazing because this all began because Tony Basco lost, as you said, the love of his life, Margie. They've been married 22 years. She was one of the 22 people killed at the Walmart. He has no other family in the world. He's lived a very difficult life. He was desperately sad. And he said, I just wish people would come to her funeral. There will only be a few people there when she's married. And this is the last of the 22 funerals. There were tweets from members of the media, a Facebook post from the funeral home, and all of a sudden we see a total inside and outside of this church of at least 850 people. And I just want to give you a look at this line, how far it spreads. And keep in mind, right now in El Paso, it is 99 degrees outside. And this is the line here, people waiting here with the fans. And most of them are from the El Paso area and also nearby New Mexico, but I've talked to people also from California, from Arizona, and from Utah who've driven here. So the line continues over here. People with the fans, all knowing at this point they've been told they're not going to be able to get in, but they don't want to leave. And then the line wraps all the way down in that direction. We spent the day with Tony yesterday. He's just such a nice man. And he told me that if so many people came, like they expected hundreds of people, which indeed is what happened, he'd be forever grateful. And I can assure you, Anderson, when he walked into this building today, it's not officially a church, it's actually a large funeral chapel that is used by many denominations. When he walked in today and he looked at me and he said, I can't believe there really are this many people here. He was so thrilled and honored and happy. And it makes us very glad to be part of this. It really feels like this is what humanity is all about.
The tiniest traces of radiation recorded on the Norwegian northern coast, say Norwegian officials. Radioactive iodine, they said, from an unknown source, which isn't harmful to people. Could this be yet more fallout from Russia's accident in the Arctic, which sent radiation levels soaring and killed 5 scientists during an apparent missile test? And what is the Skyfall, known as the 9M370 or Burevestnik in Russia? Announced by President Putin in March 2018, it was lauded as a new generation of unstoppable nuclear reactor-powered cruise missile, one that would render US defences obsolete. They claim it has an unlimited range and can fly around the world multiple times before approaching its target from an unpredictable angle. The point is, the technology is secret, yet most analysts believe it uses a nuclear reactor to heat air, propelling it forwards but expelling nuclear waste. The US called their version Project Pluto, yet abandoned such a scheme in the 60s because of the trail of damaging material it leaves behind as it flies, basically a dirty bomb with wings.
This is a doomsday weapon more than anything else. It's not something that could be deployed in anything other than a full-scale nuclear war. It is a cruise missile that can stay in the air for a long, long time, but at the same time it is belching out radioactive plumes behind it.
These satellite images show an apparent launch site in 2018. does it work? US officials told CNN it's been tested a few times, but never fully successfully. The truth is, though, we just don't know how close to success it is now. Leading to the question, why would the Kremlin try to show off a technology that doesn't seem to fly?
Vladimir Putin's Russia is basically trying to puff itself up. It's trying to look a lot more militarily formidable than it is. And so to this effect, although they don't like the fact that the test failed, the fact that we are now all talking about the latest Russian military technology is definitely something of a plus.
Yet the risks the Kremlin appear to tolerate in pursuing this new arms race mean a more dangerous world could be ahead. So there are many other missile programs, it seems, that Russia has. It seems being more keen than you'd think to publicise. As you heard there, it may well be because they're trying to passively make their military capabilities seem bigger than necessarily they are. But certainly now, with many missile treaties, it seems being whittled away at by Washington and Moscow. Deep concerns potentially about this new arms race, and obviously too, of course, the immediate regional impact of if Russia has more accidents like this.